Well, there's a lot of things that can happen to a lot of people, but ultimately it's about getting the body going again and optimizing it and living a very powerful life and supporting that body. And what can you expect? It's from, you could have cravings, you could have energy, you could have a variety of different things that happen, but I think at the end of it, what you're going to expect is lower cholesterols, more optimizing for metabolizing, higher energy, and possibly feeling the best you've felt since probably you're 15 years old.
Now, I made some jokes in some of the speeches that I made about, walking through the casino and that smoke and stuff, and I think people sort of take for granted that the lethargy that they feel, the dependence on coffee and all that is really, we're sort of at the mercy of the toxins, right? I mean, that's why we need to reset.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I just read a study last week when newborns, at the day of birth, they're exposed to 200 cancer-causing chemicals. At the day of birth, in this day and age in the United States.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, and it's a crazy statistic, and at the same time, we're doing this experiment, Carl, with like 100,000 new untested toxins being emitted in the atmosphere. Your body is spending 80% of its energy right now trying to deal with that, and it's losing the battle.
Well, that's just the Red Bull and vodka they had last night.
So you're at this deficit, and you bring up a good point. Don't let it be okay that you don't have the energy, that you're not, you have to depend on something. What part of dependence does any of you want to adhere to? If you have to have coffee or Red Bull in order to have energy, then that's something to question, because that's an indication that the body isn't living optimally. And the core reset is based upon principles that let your body thrive, through hydration and oxygenation and mineralization and all those things. When set correctly, your body will, explode with energy and detoxify more efficiently.
Yeah. It's funny that one of the common, when you're talking about dependence, you're looking at a room full of people here who all, after whatever they all did last night, were out in the parking lot this morning at 6:30 or 6 a.m. and But now we're asking them for 21 days to not exercise. And many of them, and I'll speak for you because I've gotten a question myself, and that is they're afraid that they're gripping onto that exercise because they just got the results. They just lost the 100 pounds or the 40 pounds or whatever, and they don't want to break that habit because they feel like it's a slippery slope. So why can't they exercise during the reset?
Okay, so you can move. You have to move, stretch, walk, move. What you don't want to do is understand that the body's going through a lot of you've externally worked out. Now we're taking that internal exercise, and because of that, we're getting rid of acids and heavy metals and all of these things. So the energy that it takes to do that is intense. You talk about insanity on the outside, this is insanity on the inside, So because of that, you've got all of this happening. What happens with exercise? What happens when you're done with P90X and all that? You have what? You have lactic acid. What is that? Acid. It's another acid. Your body has to get that out of your system. If you put that on top of what's happening inside, your body's going to have a really difficult time. So what we do is just say, hey, take a pause, relax, stretch, move. And what we found out, and you saw the testosterone results, right? That's no joke. That's the body finding its own balance. And when you take that break, we did tests on protein levels and everything. There was no significant difference on anyone losing lean body mass. So these are very significant situations. And I've had many people come up saying, you know what, I didn't want to stop my exercise, but I trusted you guys and I came back stronger, faster, and more powerful. So let the body do its thing and just hang out for 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks of your life. See what happens.
Well, first let me ask you this. Do you cleanse?
All the time.
Okay, now look at this guy. Do you exercise while you cleanse?
I have. I've experimented. Like, back in the day, I started my first cleanse when I was 13. I know it's a little strange, but someone said something about a grapefruit diet, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna try that. And it was the first experience I had that the body changes based on what you do to it. So that's why I'm probably sitting here right now. But what was the question? So what was the question?
The question was, do you now exercise when you reset?
So I played with it. So I was doing triathlons for about 10 years. I purposely went on a 40-day juice fast and it entered every event I could.
Oh my gosh.
So just to see what it was like.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I do. So the result was exactly what I'm sharing with you, and similar to that of what Isabel's found out, is that the body needs a time to relax and chill, but actually still move. And I would hit walls, I would almost pass out, I would do all those things. So it's not about fighting what we're saying, it's about listening to what we've done, the experience we've had, the researchers we've worked with, and just giving it a chance. And if our research is showing us that you may have a life of optimal health, more strength, more endurance, more testosterone, if that is what your body needs, then give it a shot.
Darin Olien, the human petri dish for us all. Thank you so much. I know exactly what Isabel would say at this point, because we've had, she's actually taken calls with people who in the first group that I did it with, that she and I did it with, and people who were really resisting stopping exercise. And she said, make that an important part of the reset itself. Don't just look at it as to what is the physical outcome of this. Look at your addiction across the board. It's not just about addiction to coffee or alcohol or fat and sugar or whatever. You look at what pattern do you have that is you're running on autopilot that is not giving you complete control over your creativity, your contribution, and your living consciously. She would say, use this opportunity, this 21 days, to challenge that and feel the pain of it, work through it, and see that you actually can be in control throughout that 21 days. That's what she would say. She would say, why not take a break? What are you afraid of that you cannot pick back up after 21 days? You can start exercising again then. That's what she would say.
You have to do some sort of channeling.
There's a whole thing. Can I still drink my vegan Shakeology while I'm on the cleanse, please?
And I would answer you,
Yes.
Carl, absolutely.
Right.
So the thing about that is, we want to keep you away from addictive things. Chocolate, as you know, everyone says it has caffeine, all that. It has a micro amount of caffeine. What it has is theobromine, and theobromine is it's a cousin of caffeine, but it has a lot different effects to the body. It doesn't create addictions or diuretic actions and everything. So it actually, I resisted saying yes for a long time. But upon Isabel and I going through it, actually research shows that it's actually very beneficial at this time.
And I got to tell you, as you modify your diet, I found with the diet program that there were a couple times that I really needed that snack. So I used the shake not as a meal, but I used it as a supplementary snack when I was just hungry late at night or in the middle of the day. I know a lot of our elite gang that went through it, like it was Shakeology, I got it, right? But we couldn't have the chocolate, we just had the tropical strawberries, so now you all get the chocolate. That's cool. But I do want to make a point that this is not about starvation, okay? So there's a very thorough meal plan where you're going to experiment with new foods, and you're going to, anybody who followed Dwyer going through this, and she would show her table and the bags filled with groceries, I was like, oh my God, what have I done to people? I mean, it was like, she just changed everything. I would say step one is you get the junk out of the pantry, right? And step two is you replace it all with what you're going to eat for the next 21 days. But then the results that she and John had were so outrageous